Being elected in 1983 in somewhat a surprised form, with a less than generous majority of 74 votes, the first day at Westminster was an occasion which I'm sure all members of this House will agree you simply never forget. With a majority that small, who is to say what quite tipped the balance? But I have to admit that the day before the election, there was a showing on television of my father's film, The Blue Lamp, which was the old Archie-type, Bobby-on-the-beat type movie. Now, perhaps it helped, who can tell? But when I went in through the St. Stephen's entrance on the day to take the oath, as the first time as the member for Richmond and Barnes, the policeman on the door said, Mr. Ainley, I'm very sorry that your late father isn't around to see you come into this house, sir. I think he'd have been very proud. I said, well, thank you, Sergeant, that's very kind. He said, mind you, sir, I think the shock might have killed him. And it's that. Absolutely true. I'm sure honourable and right honourable members have noted those smiles which play on the face of the constabulary in this Palace of Westminster. I mean, could it be the confidence of a job well done, or more likely the fact that whatever the result of the next election, they'll be back?
The honourable member for Richmond and Barnes was a complete delight, and I'm sure that everybody in the House would agree with that. He has certain advantages. He is, of course, the son of distinguished actors, both of whom rightly command admiration, and he gave evidence of that in recounting his encounter with the honourable and reverend gentleman from Northern Ireland. I had a not dissimilar encounter when I shared an office in those halcyon days when there were mixed parties in offices, and they didn't come any more mixed than the honourable and reverend gentleman. I was caught by him on one occasion giving a rather bad impersonation of his accent, and he said I wasn't to worry about that because impersonation was the sincerest form of flattery. But he added, not that I believe in flattery, of course.
Giles Brandreth.
Madam Speaker, I'm only here because I have the unique good fortune to represent the city of Chester. Quite simply, the finest place there is. 2,000 years of matchless history. Yes. The honourable member is not quite right. 1,101. I was sponsored by a carpet shampoo firm, and I have declared it. The joy of being a member for a marginal seat is that it keeps you on your toes, as the honourable gentleman will discover in due course. I have to tell him I wouldn't stand anywhere else if they asked me, and they have. I'm thrilled to play my tiny part, however brief, in the 2,000 years of matchless history of Chester. A Roman fortress, a cradle of our monarchy, the last city in the land to fall to the Norman conquest, a bastion for the crown in the Civil War. Indeed, with our historic walls, our fabulous roads, our beautiful river, our ancient cathedral, our theatre, our galleries, our gem of a racecourse, our model zoo, we're the jewel in any crown. No wonder the James Boswell, we call James Boswell, Madam Speaker, the Alan Clark of his day, possibly more reliable. No wonder he thought Chester the fairest English city I have seen. Candidly, I cannot claim a lot of personal credit for the glories of my constituency, though I do try. Colleagues may be shocked to hear this, but whenever there's a bit of good news going in my part of the world, I do my best to get in on the act. At least I've learnt something from the Liberals. I plan to welcome the gracious speech. I believe the Leader of the Opposition plans to be more critical. Indeed, I know what his plans are, because one of his more innocent spin doctors gave me a detailed preview of his speech under the misapprehension that I was Robin Oakley.
I greatly commend him on his speech. I mean absolutely no offence either when I say that I greeted the end of his speech with some relief, since I gather he holds the world record for after-dinner speaking. It is recorded that he spoke for 12 hours and 32 minutes, though sadly it's not recorded how many of the audience stayed to the end of it. The honourable member came to this house with a great reputation for loudness, and indeed that was only his sweaters. He also runs a teddy bear shop, so I understand, in Stratford. So, Madam Speaker, who says there is not sufficient diversity of experience in the House today? He's also past winner, so I am told, of the World Monopoly Championships, so no doubt there is a place on the board of the utilities waiting for him. And more important, he is the author of a book called Great Sexual Disasters. The remarkable thing, I may say, is that it's written before he came to this house. So I've no doubt at all that a sequel is well on its way.
Mr.